Hello, my name is Cindy Matalucci, and you're watching The Pulse, where we get the 411 on all the latest and greatest things to do in this amazing city, San Diego. From the newest bars and restaurants to the chicest boutiques, to the gyms and the trainers that are getting the people of this city buff 365 days a year, to the place you want to go to get your spa on. I'm exploring it all for you, and of course, having fun along the way. So come with me while we put our finger on the pulse of San Diego. This episode of The Pulse was brought to you by Windus Fernandez Brinkkord from Trilogy Financial Services. For all your financial needs, Windus and her team have got you covered. On today's episode, we start our show on location at the Heritage Square Museum in Los Angeles, a family-friendly museum of historic architectural buildings that explores the settlement and development of Southern California from the late 1800s to the early 1900s. Next, we are in studio with our financial expert, Windus Fernandez Brinkkord from Trilogy Financial Services. We are talking about the year-end financial checklist you need to have now and much more. We end our show on location at the 12th Annual Echoes of Hope All In for Hope Poker Tournament at the Museum of Flying in Santa Monica. There are 8 historic structures located at the Heritage Square Museum, constructed during the Victorian Era. They were saved from demolition and serve as a perfect background to educate the public about the everyday lives of Southern Californians from the close of the 19th century into the early decades of the 20th century. Over the past 50 years, Heritage Square Museum has acquired and begun the restoration of these 8 historically significant buildings from different Los Angeles neighborhoods. Located on acres of period-appropriate landscape grounds, the museum is the place where history comes alive. Watch this. Hey everybody, it's Cindy Matalucci, your host of The Pulse, and today we are in LA at Heritage Square Museum. The museum is a place where history comes alive, and rumor has it, so do the spirits. Let's check it out. We're so excited. Thanks for having us today.
Sure.
So will you tell the viewers a little bit about this property?
Sure. So this property was vacant parkland, and in around 1967, 1969, a group of volunteers were going around Los Angeles, and they were noticing that the architecture was being torn down for office buildings, corporate buildings, things like that. So they formed a foundation, and they went around the city and basically bought these houses for $1 and had them moved here. So all the houses are from LA County. They're from Highland Park, Pasadena. This house, the greenhouse, the Hale House, was about a mile from here. So they got together and got the money together, and Heritage Square was formed in about 1969.
And you guys, so you're doing so much on the property now. You guys are hosting events. There's things that you can do. You guys are doing tours. So tell us a little bit about that.
So we do our regular public tours on the weekends, 11 to 5. You get a go into the houses with a guide. You hear the history of the architecture, the families, the property, Los Angeles. We also do events with different community members like Street Food Cinema, Vitamin String Quartet, Blue 13 Dance, Downtown Repertory Theater, and we do a lot of film shoots here. And we have the Day of the Dead Magic Market pop-up coming up next weekend, and that'll be about 75 vendors a day. We get about 1,500 people per day, and there's food trucks, vegan food, there's music, there's yoga and sound bowls in the church, so it's just a full day of all kinds of activities.
Well, and fun fact, one of my favorite movies, Legally Blonde, I heard a rumor was filmed here. Is that right?
Yes, it was filmed in the Perry, and when she goes to the party and she's wearing her bunny suit, she walks up the stairs. That's she goes inside, and that's the scene.
That is so cool.
When guests come here, I want them to feel like they're stepping back in time, and I want them to see what life was like for the Victorians in Los Angeles. So what I've done is I've pretty much cleared out the houses of the old collection, brought in new collection, and when people walk in the houses, they can feel like what it was like in the Victorian era, what books they were reading, what they were drinking, and the newspapers. Yes, yeah.
I love all the little touches. We were filming and photographing that. And you have to come up and check out this place and tell us the website that they can go to to find everything.
It's heritagesquare.org. Yes.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. We're going to take you inside now. So can you give us a little history on this home? Because there was a few owners before Bessie was here.
Yeah, so the home itself originally started out as a model home. It was in a planned community as a way for people who were going to be joining that community to see how wonderful their houses could be. This house has a ton of modern conveniences, and it was a great way for them to kind of look into the future of what homes could look like. It passed through a couple of families before it ended up with James and Bessie Hale. That's why we call it the Hale House, as they lived here the longest. Now, James and Bessie lived here together as a couple for a while before Bessie caught James stealing her jewelry to give to his mistress. She took him to court, and they awarded them a divorce and gave her the house, which is totally unheard of in that time period. So while she lived here on her own for a while, eventually she opened it up as a home for women whose husbands were incarcerated. They were able to live here with their children and by themselves. They wouldn't be out on the streets.
Well, and the other thing I wanted to ask you is because people say that they feel the spirit of Bessie here because she lived here for so many years, and she was 97, I think, when she died.
She was quite old. Now, she did not die in the house. Okay. She did move out before she passed on. But if someone lives somewhere for a long time, you can definitely feel the imprint of who they were in that home. We have some beautiful artifacts here from Bessie, and I feel like just the energy of her remains in the home.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Of course.
For more information on Heritage Square Museum and how to visit them, you can go to heritagesquare.org. Year-end can bring a lot of anxiety to many people, especially with their finances. Have no fear, because Windus from Trilogy Financial is here to talk you through your year-end financial checklist and help you be savvy with your finances during the holidays. Check this out. Okay, so it's officially year-end. Are you guys feeling financially secure? Aaron?
Yes.
Especially with the holidays approaching and you have to go buy gifts. There's so many expenses this time of year, you guys. It's coming up for everyone. People have anxiety. I know I have anxiety right now, but have no fear, because we have our financial expert, Windus Fernandez Brinkkord from Trilogy Financial Services here.
I don't know that I can cure your anxiety. I might actually contribute to it unintentionally. Just kidding.
No, we love to have you here because you always make us feel better when you're done. So we love this. Okay, so you're going to give us some advice today. So we're going to talk about the year-end financial checklist and what you need to know. So let's dive in. What do we need to consider at this time of year? And I want to mention, this is a good thing, right? This is not a bad thing, because we want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up to achieve our goals.
Absolutely.
So it's not a bad thing. So don't be stressed about this checklist.
Right. No, I think having like a checklist to look in on every year and update, you know, it's almost like a business plan. When you run a business, it's really healthy to stop and kind of take inventory of how the year has gone, what you intended the year to go like. Like you were just talking about the dog rescue. Not all years go the way we intend. And December is a good month to take stock of that and put intention for the next year.
I love that. Okay, so one thing you can do, review your investment goals, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, getting to your goals it's not a death march. It's about creating a behavior, a consistent savings. You know, maybe one year you can save $500 a month, and some years you can only save $100 a month. It's taking a look at what did you intend to save, what were you able to save, and then how much closer to your goals are you, and how do you need to adjust your goals?
So what about looking at your investment portfolio, or maybe rebalancing?
Oh,
is that
absolutely.
Something that...
With your investment portfolio, 2023 was a very complicated year. So 2022 was a down year. I don't care what you owned, you lost money in 2022. The Fed raised rates, bonds went down, stocks went down, crypto fell off of a cliff, like everything really like suffered. Well, typically when you have a year like 2022, 2023 would have been like a rebound year. But 2023 came with super volatility. We had I don't even know that anyone even remembers we had that failing bank crisis in March, and like we had all this chaos this year that made it where we had like run-ups and then plummets and then run-ups, and we are coming off of, we had August, September, October, a pretty nasty run down in the market, and then November breathed life and brought us back into the positive this year. So looking at your allocation and making sure that you're allocated both to your risk tolerance, but to your time horizon.
That's great advice. Okay, so what about like capital losses? Can you offset these?
No, so capital losses you use to offset gains. So
Okay.
it's not that you're offsetting losses. It's that this is the time of year where we do what we call tax harvesting.
Right,
However,
tax loss harvesting.
if you're tax harvesting right now, you kind of like missed the window.
Oh,
Should have tax harvested in October.
okay.
Because that's when you want to harvest, you want to cash in your losses when things are like down, and you get to maximize your loss. And then again, you're not like going to cash, you're basically selling one stock and buying a like-to-like stock, so
Okay.
that when the market goes up, you get to reap that up, but you've had the ability to lock in your losses.
So we had a question from a viewer. Can you reduce your taxes? Is there anything you can do or start thinking
The
about?
tax losses do help reduce your taxes, but
Okay.
I mean, I've met a lot of clients who they weren't maximizing their 401k contributions. They were unaware of the limits, and the best, most powerful tool for anyone to reduce their taxes are to make sure that you're taking advantage of your tax deductible vehicles.
Okay, so what about like charitable contributions and gifts?
For individuals who are above 73 who have to take their required minimum distributions from their retirement accounts, they can actually do a cool strategy where they take their distribution and send it directly to a charity, which allows them to add an extra deduction on their taxes.
Oh, wow.
So if you're taking your RMDs, you may want to consult with your tax professional about how, if you don't need your RMDs or you don't need all of them and you want to make a charitable donation, make sure you're doing it in the way to really maximize how that benefit impacts your taxes.
And that could also be for like family gifting, right?
Well, that's separate. Like family
Okay.
gifting is like, so that your charities, or you're trying to you're giving to a charity, you're doing a good thing, but you're also
Right.
reaping a tax benefit.
Yes.
Gifting to your families, this is the time of year to play Santa.
Did you
Hey,
hear that,
Grandma,
family?
Grandpa, like I have more money. You can't take it with you. I know, contrary to popular belief, you die, your money stays here. So if you have the ability, if you have extra and you want to give it to your family now, it's far better to give it to them when you can watch them enjoy it than waiting for you to pass.
I love that. Tony, if you're listening, you can gift me anytime. Okay, so what about your insurance plans? Like reviewing them. Is it a good time at the end of the year?
For me, I feel like the insurance plan thing is just something you should be looking at on an annual basis.
Okay.
But the timing for the end of the year is irrelevant. It's more of just making sure you're taking stock of what you have and intention behind it.
Or if there's estate planning or any big life changes or things
Right.
like that,
So
maybe?
for super high net worth people, there are some estate planning changes that are coming down in 2025. However, with all regulation, there's a chance that in 2024 they'll make a change. And what
Wow.
we're expecting in 2025 may not even happen. So not even worth talking about yet, in my opinion.
Because we don't know.
But it is something, it's an election year next year. The last couple of election year cycles have actually been positive market ones. I don't really know that the election year is going to impact the market negatively, but I do think it's going to make all of us a lot more jittery.
Okay, well, we want to calm down. Don't be too jittery, people. Okay, so the bottom line is, from what I'm understanding, is you need to know where you are, meet with your advisor, right? And you guys will help your clients with all of this information.
We are very common New Year's resolution. Get your financial house in order. Come see us. We can help you. We can help you find peace of mind for 2024.
I love that. And she does a free consult too. So, okay, so we know it's the holiday season. And according to Good Morning America, because you know I love my stats, Cyber Monday raked in $12.4 billion in sales. Holiday spending is insane this year. We're actually going to show a graph right now. So according to the National Retail Federation, holiday sales for 2023 are expected to be increasing between 3 and 4% over 2022. So it seems like we are still spending, which is kind of crazy with everything going on, but we love to spend. So I know people are anxious about holiday spending. So what can people do to be financially savvy this time of year? Like, what kind of tips do you have? I know we were talking earlier about budgets and things like that.
I feel like once we're in it, it's like asking what you can do to be financially ready for a vacation when you get to the airport. Like, you kind of have to be thinking about this ahead of time. So there's a couple schools of thoughts. Like, some people do things like get past the holidays or go on that vacation, and then they have that remorse after the fact. I really find that people enjoy their money better or enjoy their experience better when they have planned for it with intention.
So what about, we had a question, using promotional APRs and interest-free payments for holiday purchases. What do you think about that?
I mean, if you got into a situation where you needed to buy something you didn't plan for, absolutely, like, don't pay interest on it if you can avoid it.
Okay.
A lot of credit card companies are running specials right now. Absolutely. Just make sure then you have a game plan to not carry that debt past the 0 APR date.
Well, and I love this next one. According to Investopedia, you can make your own naughty or nice list. Santa has to buy presents for the whole world, but you don't. If your shopping list includes more than 5 people outside of your immediate family, start cutting it. Then bake some cookies to give to all the people that you snipped from your original gift list. And this will ensure that you spread the holiday cheer and keep you from looking like a Scrooge.
I don't know, I'm kind of going to go Scrooge on that.
She's calling my Scrooge.
Like, that's implying that everyone only had, like, I mean, some people have some pretty big families. My family this year actually decided to do the Secret Santa approach.
Oh, I like that.
So let's just say off the top, there's like, there's 15 of us. And basically what I'd call probably my immediate family circle with my brother, kids, and my cousins really close to us, right? Immediate family circle, 15. We drew where we each only did 4, like 1 per family member in the household. Drew for kids, adults drew for adults.
That's great.
So we did our own little way of bringing it down. I think doing something fun like that is really awesome to do with your family or start it with your family instead of the cookies idea.
Well, and here's the thing. I love this though, because Israel and I have over 15 people to buy for, and it is overwhelming, right? And that's not including each other or any of our friends either. So it gets to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, I have like 20 presents to get. So I'm thinking I might just bake pepperoni bread for some people, and that's nice, my Italian recipe. I might do that, because I feel like people that bake, I feel like it's a lot of thought that you put into it, right?
Yes.
So I'm not a Scrooge if I bake for you. If I'm baking for you, I love you. Okay, so basically when it comes to finances, there's 3 different categories, right? So you've got young adults that are starting to work on their finances. We've got middle-aged or families with kids, then people close to retirement, and they're at different stages. So really they have to come to you and figure out what that plan is for the stages.
At this point in my career, I have to tell you, I'm really impressed with the young adults. Like, I'm having more of my clients' kids starting way, way before their parents ever thought about it. Like, I met with a 17-year-old yesterday who wanted to start her Roth IRA. So I honestly am pretty excited about that young adult generation and the intention they're putting around it. They don't want to be like their parents who are scrambling after the kids go to college to catch up. So
that's smart, because when I was 17, I was not thinking about that at all. I was thinking about my next outfit I was going to buy because I was in retail. I love that. But yeah, they are savvy. So you know, setting up and starting, and when can they start? When?
I mean, the second you have earned income.
Okay.
So earned income means actually like working at a Starbucks and collecting a W-2 where you're getting paid.
Okay.
Just to say passive income doesn't count. So it's got to be something you've earned, and then you can contribute to an IRA.
I love that. Well, that's everybody out there with your kids. Let them know that. That's a good point. Okay, so what do you do with your family? Because you are the expert when it comes to financial goals to set yourself up for the new year, or maybe it's something you do all year long. Is there anything you do?
So I, on a monthly basis, track my budget.
Okay.
And I take a look at where the money's going, and, you know, are we overspending? If so, why? Can we like target months where we can make corrections? Like, oh, if I'm going to go on a spring break vacation in April, maybe May needs to be a month at home. Or so I take a look at planning out the year in advance, taking a look at the months I know are going to be more expensive, putting intention around the months where I know we need to, like, I don't know, eat at home more.
Okay.
And then when it comes to the holidays, I think I'm kind of terrible. Like, I love the holidays. I love being generous. So
I know, I do too.
But I now plan for the digging out in January.
Okay, all right, I like that. And you've been doing a lot of trips, so I love that. I love seeing the trips that you've been going on. And then before we go today, I want to talk about you being a leader, because most times when people quit their jobs, right, they actually quit their managers. Lord knows in the past I've had great managers and I've had not so great managers, but you're such a great leader, and I want to know what you think about retaining talent today. So I know that you have, I don't know, you have experience with leading teams of 15 or more, and you've overseen a lot of different groups. I know you have a lot of men on your team too.
I do have a lot of men.
Primarily. So can you give us any tips?
Oof, tough question. The leadership side is really being vocal when things aren't working and bringing people together to have a conversation about it.
Okay.
Yeah, in my team, one thing I've always been adamant about is we used the first week of January, or one of the days in the first 2 weeks of January, to sit down and really like go through our business plans together. What are we all working on? How can we help each other with those goals? And I'm a really big fan of bringing coaches in to help people individually, because I'm going to do things my way. You might need to do things a little bit differently to achieve the success you're looking for. Also, success for one person will look different from someone else. So I think from a leadership perspective, not being afraid to bring in outside help so that your staff feels safe to be able to work on their goals at their pace. And then you can, once you understand those goals, really help hold them accountable to it.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here, and you can reach out to Windus directly for a consult. You can go to her website or give them a call. We have everything up right now. It's trilogyfs.com/advisor/Windus Fernandez Brinkkord. And of course, we always have everything for you, and they can call you and reach out.
Absolutely.
For more information on Windus and to book a consult with her, you can head over to trilogyfs.com/advisor/Windus Fernandez Brinkkord. Founded by Stacia and Luke Robitaille, Echoes of Hope strives to awaken the spirit of hope in the lives of children, youth, and young adults in need by alleviating barriers and helping them reach their full potential. Every year, they hold an amazing fundraising event, the All In for Hope Poker Tournament, and we take you inside this amazing event. Watch this.
Here with the fabulous Stacia and Luke Robitaille. How are you?
Fabulous. Fabulous, don't forget that.
You guys, it's the 12th annual. How does it feel to have been doing this for 12 years?
Amazing. It honestly, there's so many familiar faces. Because of COVID, we didn't do it for almost 4 years. And literally tonight I'm walking in and seeing all these familiar faces, and it made me a little teary.
Well, you guys always put on such an amazing event. What can people expect when they come tonight?
Well, the biggest thing is they expect to have fun, you know,
and love. It's family. Like you walk through those doors, and it literally is one big family. There's celebrities. We don't like having a lot of press around because then they feel uncomfortable. They could just be themselves. And it really is. It's like one giant family.
It's a great thing. I mean, people come in, they're making a difference. You know, out of it, we're going to be able to help more kids, and they come in. But we want everybody just to really enjoy their night and to make sure when they come out, they go, "I want to come back next year. This was fun."
I'm here with Chris, pastry chef to the celebrities and the stars. How are you?
Amazing. Super thankful to be here. Super excited.
Well, and I want to know what made you get involved and to come out to this event tonight.
So I'm not a hockey fan or sports, but my good friend told me about everything, and I said, "Well, how can I be a part of it? I want to give whatever I can," and a pastry class was the gift.
So I have to ask you guys, what made you get involved in this charity, in this organization?
Well, when Luke and Stacia ask you, you're available. Yeah. You just immediately become available. And our mother was actually a social worker growing up. So Echoes of Hope, we know the impact that you can have on a community with an organization that does what Echoes of Hope does. So when they asked, we said we were available and we'd love to help in any way we can.
And you're hosting.
We are hosting. He's hosting.
I'm hosting.
Okay.
He's just up there.
I'm kind of part of his entourage, I guess. Just kidding. It's really the other way around. But no, we're hosting. We invited a bunch of friends. We're playing a little bit of poker. Gonna raise as much money as we can for Echoes of Hope.
So how does it feel? First of all, you've been involved with this organization for so many years. What made you get involved?
I think I got involved in 2012 through Michael Rosenbaum, and I believe Michael's on the board. So Michael got me in. I think it was at one of these poker events that I was there, and then also Luke and Stacia's charity game. That So I just remember the first time that I got involved, I don't know if it was Trey or Tay, but one of them like did a backflip in the King's locker room. Like it was amazing. Like, so that was like one of the first times like I got like to meet everybody, and then just working with like their Leaders of Tomorrow program, like such a good program for kids to get out there and get degrees and finish their education. So once like that was kind of, I don't know, once I get involved with that, I kind of started asking like, how else can I get involved? What else can I do? Can I donate time, donate my tickets, my season tickets? Can I get them some Old Spice? Like, what can I do? You know?
Amazing though, and tonight you're being honored. How does it feel to be honored tonight?
Oh, that's like humbling. You know, it just, I don't know. I never wanted it to be about me, so so you just say thank you. I appreciate, you know, you acknowledging me, but it's really about Echoes of Hope, and just make sure I just spread that awareness that Echoes of Hope is an organization that really wants, you know, at-risk kids that they're homeless, undocumented, foster care youth, just want them to really succeed in life and kind of like level the playing field for them. So it's really about them.
So how did you get involved with this organization?
The Potage twins told me about this wonderful organization. They said that this is a great event. Why don't you come and be a part of it? And I was like, well, I don't play poker. And they were like, it doesn't matter. You're going to host. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, and then I was like, well, can I play French horn? Because, you know, they play horns. And they were like, no, Lonnie, don't play. And I was like, okay, I'll just come. But when I found out what Echoes of Hope was about, I just had to come down here. 11,000 youth since 2022 have been helped because of this wonderful organization. What Stacia and Luke Robitaille have done is just great. And this is what I'm about, using my platform for places like this, for organizations like this, and it's a great event.
So good to see you. I know you've been supporting this organization for a long time. What made you get involved with this organization?
I mean, Luke and Stacia and the kids. I mean, I was in and out of foster homes due to faults of my own and getting in trouble when I was younger. But knowing what they do and what I went through going through those different systems, it was a no-brainer. Not to mention, then you add in hockey and my love of hockey. So I don't even remember exactly how or why it happened. It felt like it was so long ago, and then I was just part of the family.
It's your first time.
Yes, it was my first time. Well, I got invited, and I just thought that this foundation is doing amazing things, and it's such a great cause, so why not come and show support? And I don't play poker, but I'm mingling.
Echoes of Hope.
For more information on Echoes of Hope and how to get involved, you can head over to echoesofhope.org. For more of these stories, head over to our website, thepulsesd.com, and make sure you're following us on social media at thepulsesd for all the behind-the-scenes fun. That's going to do it for today's episode. We'll see you next time when we put our finger on the pulse of San Diego.